Hello everyone, it's me Uncle John. Today I am going to read S3 3200 Dinosaurs by Caroline Laidlaw. Dinosaurs were reptiles that lived between 230 million and 65 million years ago. They are extinct now. Their closest relatives, crocodiles and birds, are still living in the world today. The word dinosaur comes from two Greek words, deinos, terrible, and sauros, lizard. This dinosaur is Trudon. Its name means wounding tooth because it had teeth like sharp knives that could easily wound and kill. Trudon lived about 76 to 70 million years ago. It was about the same size as a human being. Scientists think it was one of the most intelligent dinosaurs because it had quite a large brain. It also had very good eyesight and was a fast runner. A dangerous dinosaur, Trudon could run very fast. It was a clever hunter. It could see animals even in bad light because it had good eyesight. Nothing could hide from the dinosaur. This dinosaur is Herrerasaurus. A man called Victorino Herrera discovered its bones in Argentina in 1958. It lived about 228 million years ago. It was about 3 to 4 meters long and had strong back legs, a short neck, and a big head. It could run very fast on its two back legs. It was also a good hunter like Trudon. Where did Trudon and Herrerasaurus find food? They found it behind rocks and on the leaves. These were the hiding places of small snakes and lizards. Well, before they could catch their food, the dinosaurs had to run very fast. The snakes and lizards could also move quickly. They could run away. A fast runner. Herrerasaurus had strong back legs. It could run very fast. It liked eating small reptiles like snakes and lizards. Tyrannosaurus Rex was a fierce predator. It was about 12 meters long and 20 meters tall. Its head was huge and it had more than 60 strong teeth. Each tooth was 20 centimeters long. It could eat 230 kilos of meat and bones in one bite. Tyrannosaurus Rex lived 67 to 65 million years ago. It became extinct about 65 million years ago. Many other dinosaurs also died. Scientists are not sure why. Perhaps a giant meteorite hit the Earth and caused a change of climate. It became very cold and dinosaurs couldn't find food. A huge hunter. Tyrannosaurus liked eating animals for its dinner. Its name means a tyrant lizard. It was one of the biggest meat eaters in the world of dinosaurs. What kind of food did these three dinosaurs eat? You can find the answer in their teeth, claws, and legs. Only the meat eaters had sharp teeth and claws like these. They had strong back legs because they were hunters and had to catch their prey. Animals that hunt other animals are called predators. The hunted animals are called prey. Hungry for meat, these dinosaurs were carnivores or meat eaters. They only ate meat. Their favorite food was fish, insects, and small animals, including other dinosaurs. In the 1970s, scientists found the fossil bones of this dinosaur in the Gobi Desert, China. Its name is Gallimimus, which means acting like a chicken. In fact, it looked more like an ostrich, but it didn't have wings. It had a beak, a small head, a long neck, a long tail, short arms, and hollow bones. It was one of the most intelligent dinosaurs. It had a good brain in its small head. and its hollow bones were very useful. It was not heavy like many of the other big dinosaurs. Gal- Gallimimus had a long beak like a bird. It could pick up leaves and it could catch small animals. In its beak, it was an omnivore. Gallimimus was an omnivore. This means it had a mixed diet of plants and meat. It liked eating eggs too. The Gallimimus lived about 75 to 70 million years ago. It was about 5 to 6 meters long, but it wasn't heavy because it had hollow bones. Sometimes big meat-eating dinosaurs try to catch it for food. Usually, it could escape. With its hollow bones, it was light and could run very fast on its two back legs. It could reach a speed of about 70 kilometers an hour. About 80 to 65 million years ago, North America was the home of a plant-eating dinosaur called Maiasauro. It was unusual because it made nests and looked after its babies. The name Maiasauro means good mother lizard. In Montana, scientists found about 10,000 Maiasauro fossils in a huge group. The dinosaurs probably lived in herds. It is possible that they moved together from place to place looking for fresh plant food. First, the female Maiasauro made a nest. It was a simple hole in the ground, 1.8 to 2 meters wide. Then she laid her eggs. She laid a lot of eggs, but she didn't leave the nest. Instead, she stayed near it and guarded her eggs. Later, she looked after her new babies. She was a very good mother. It was hard work because they were always hungry. Like their mother, they ate leaves, berries, and seeds. They were vegetarians. Herbivore dinosaurs had a problem. The carnivores liked eating them because they were very tasty. But what could the herbivores do about it? Well, there were several answers. For example, some of them developed very thick skin. They also had horns and spikes on their heads and bodies. They looked like warriors ready for battle in a suit of armor. So they were not easy prey for the carnivore. Styracosaurus had spikes on its head and a horn on its nose. Its name means spiked lizard. It was about 5 meters long and about 1.8 meters tall. It lived 77 to 70 million years ago. It walked on 4 short legs and could reach a speed of 32 kilometers an hour. Styracosaurus had a long horn on its nose. It used the horn for protection. Of course, the rhinoceros of today isn't a dinosaur, but it has a horn on its nose, just like Styracosaurus. Admontosaurus means a lizard from Edmonton, which is in Canada. They lived in this region. It is another example of a dinosaur with a protective skin. It was about 30 meters long and was extremely heavy. It could run on 2 legs or walk on 4, but it was not a fast mover. Scientists think that it probably had good senses. These senses warned Admontosaurus of predators nearby. It hid from them in swamps because it couldn't run fast. There are thousands of Admontosaurus fossils in Alberta, Canada. They lived there in herds 73 to 65 million years ago. But scientists believe that every winter they left the far north because it was dark and there was no food. They traveled thousands of kilometers to Alberta, which had a lot of green plants during winter. These dinosaurs were migratory. They moved with the weather, away from the cold weather. A lot of birds and animals today are migratory. Do you know any in your country? Meet Euoplocephalus, a plant-eating dinosaur that lived 70 to 65 million years ago. In the early 1900s, scientists found more than 40 fossils of this huge animal in Alberta, Canada, and Montana, USA. With 4 short legs and a very short neck, Euoplocephalus could only eat plants near the ground. And because its legs were short and its body was so heavy, it could not move very fast. Even worse, it was not very clever. Big dinosaurs often made good meals for other dinosaurs. How then did Euoplocephalus escape from predator? Well, we know that it had a very thick skin and its head was well armored. The big meat-eating dinosaurs could not easily attack it. There was only one part of its body that was soft, its belly. Clever predator could turn Euoplocephalus onto its back and then kill it. Scientists believe it was probably the favorite meal of Tyrannosaurus Rex. The name Euoplocephalus means well-armored head. The tail club on Euoplocephalus was huge. It could break the legs of the bigger dinosaurs. Like Admontosaurus, it was a dinosaur with a very thick skin. It had a white head with a beak and horns. On its body, there were hard plates and spikes. On the end of its tail, there was a heavy club, which is like a big bat, which could break the legs of a bigger dinosaur. It was about 6 meters long and weighed about 2 tons. It looked fierce. Hypsilophodon was one of the smallest herbivores. It was about 2 meters long and about 60 centimeters tall. It weighed about 68 kilos. It ate plants that grew on the ground, like grass, though, like many herbivores, it tasted good. It didn't have any spikes or horns for protection, so how did it fight the meat eater? The answer is that it didn't fight, it ran. It could run very fast indeed on its strong back legs. It could run faster than the big dinosaurs. Perhaps it is sometimes better to run away and not to fight. The little dinosaur probably lived in a herd with other hypsilophodons. This was a good idea because in a group there were many eyes watching out for enemies. They probably also looked after their nets and babies. Scientists found a group of 20 fossils on the Isle of Wight, an island off the coast of southern England. Hypsilophodon lived 120 million years ago. Hypsilophodon was a small dinosaur, but it could look after itself. Corydosaurus was a herbivore with a kind of helmet on its head. Its name means helmet lizard. But the helmet didn't protect the animal. In fact, Corydosaurus didn't have any kind of natural protection. It wasn't like the other plant-eating dinosaurs that had armored bodies, but it could run fast, and it probably had a good sense of smell. Running away was a good protection against its enemy. Many of the big dinosaurs were very heavy and slow, could not run fast. Corydosaurus lived 80 to 65 million years ago. In 1914, the Barnum Brown found the first fossil in Alberta, Canada. Later, scientists found more Corydosaurus fossils in other parts of North America. Unusual heads. Parasaurolophus, other dinosaurs had crests on their heads too. Parasaurolophus had one on its green head. Often the males had bigger crests than the females. Why did Corydosaurus have a helmet or crest on its head? Scientists don't know exactly, but they have some ideas. Firstly, perhaps the crest made a sound. Maybe Corydosaurus could communicate with it. Secondly, perhaps the crest was a cooling device in hot weather. Lastly, perhaps it was a kind of nose with a very good sense of smell. Nobody knows the answer. What do you think? The Barosaurus means heavy lizard, which is a very good name for one of the biggest and tallest herbivores. It probably weighed about 40,000 kilos. A heavy dinosaur like this needed a lot of food. With its long neck, it could reach branches of trees. It probably ate the leaves of several trees in one day. It had to find places with lots of trees. Barosaurus had short legs and walked slowly. It couldn't turn around quickly because it was very long, about 25 meters. It lived in North America and East Africa about 150 million years ago. Luckily, the Barosaurus was taller than all the meat eaters. It usually escaped from its enemy because it could see them from a great distance. Perhaps the big carnivores were afraid of it because it was so big, but it was really a peaceful dinosaur. It didn't like fighting. The enemies of herbivores were meat eaters with sharp teeth and claws. The plant eater didn't have sharp teeth and claws to fight with. They had tail claws and horns, for example, and very thick skin. What else did they have? The pictures will remind you. The end.